Hello, everybody. My name is Juan Carlos Brando. Thank you for having us today again with the immigration Q&A session with the attorney Margaret W. Wong, when you can ask your questions for free, and she will be able to answer your immigration questions and give you a solution or a potential solution for your immigration case. So please get in touch with us, send us a message, send us your questions, and we will be so happy to receive your questions and give you answers about your immigration needs. We already have our head attorney, attorney Margaret W. Wong. Good afternoon, Ms. Wong. Thank you for having us. How are you doing today?
I'm very good, and thank you.
Thank you so much. And well, Ms. Wong, um, a lot of people are asking about what's going on in the border, specifically in southern border, but also a lot of business people want to come to the United States for several reasons. So let's start briefly talking about the southern border, what is going on there, and why some people come in and they stay detained for 1 or 2 months, and then other people just come and they take 1 or 2 days and then they are released. Why is this happening so much?
There are two reasons that's happening. Number one, daily the policies are changing. Um, we don't really know what's going on. Number one. Number two is also America has always been a country of reunification of families. So most times, if people come in with young children, we don't separate them. So sometimes we separate the father, but the mother will always stay with the young people. So that's really very much also the second information. But most of all, a lot of people now, they're coming because of economic hardship and not so much because of the fear of the country condition change, because you can only apply, that's one thing you could only apply for at the border is asylum. That's fear because of nationality, race, member of a political group, political opinion, and religion and race, right? So in this case, a lot of people now, they're very honest about it. They said, I'm coming in because I need a better job. I'm being threatened because they're trying to burn down my house, stuff like that. So we don't know. So, but for now, though, my advice has always been the one who's already in America, don't travel to the borders, even though you can always ask your use your passport to travel, because the borders are really trending now. Number one. Number two is for those who are out there, the three countries, the Central American countries, Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras. If your step parents or parents have U visa on asylum or even DACA, try to come under the CAM program. All you need is to push US DHS, Homeland Security. And then there's tons of things on CAM. CAM. So you can apply and you can come legally, either on parole or on asylum or something. But Mexico is not entitled to this. But lately, there's not that many Mexicans coming, especially when they know they could work and get a good job. Because Mexican people, you can come on a TN visa on free trade if you have a university degree, and also you can come on an e-visa if you want to like invest in a business or open a small restaurant or do a little business. The capital requirement of the e-visa is not as high as if you're coming in from Asian countries like Korea and Japan have E, even Egypt. Uh, I'm pretty sure have E. Argentina have E. So that's also on the web. Check what's a E treated country, and then you can come. So and because of the economics in Mexico, aside from the rural and the villages, it's really getting better. So you don't really see a lot of Mexican men coming because they can always, come legally on a H-2B visa. Um, Another way for you to come legally is to, if you already have an employer, like we have a lot of employers in America that would love to find good workers. So if they're willing to sponsor H-2B, TN visa, even H-1B, or if not, there's an EB-3 for the green card. It takes about 2 years, but it's worth it because you come with your whole family. You don't need to be murdered or kidnapped at the border. These are all legal entries, and then you come and you start working, which is really good. So we don't necessarily need to come. That's a border problem because right now most people don't know. They hear, oh, Biden is a good president, easy one, and now we're stuck, so it's difficult.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for this answer. And we are starting to receive comments from our audience. So thank you so much for your answer. If you need more information, please give us a call, 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. The attorney Margaret W. Wong. Um, I recently graduated from the University of Dayton, Ohio, with a degree in mechanical engineer at the University of Dayton, Ohio. As my graduation was coming up, I applied for jobs around the US. I got two good prospects, one as nuclear energy officer at the US Navy and one as mechanical engineer at the International Air and Space Intelligence Center. But both of these jobs require either permanent residency or US citizenship. Since I am on a student visa,
I totally get it. So you didn't tell me if you're a bachelor or master's. So I had the same problem when I first graduated. In my nowadays, you could do a 12-month OPT, and then because you're a stamp, you also can do a 24-month stamp OPT. Most of, especially these two agencies, they're very high level security agency, terrorism and stuff like that. They cannot hire you. My recommendation, and I had the same problem. I applied for a job with Jones Day, Mr. Dick Polk. He didn't hire me. Now we're very good friends. I applied a job with, oh my gosh, I must have interviewed with 50 um, companies, and I applied even with DOJ, Department of Justice. They didn't hire me. In those days, there's no Homeland Security, but I also applied with IRS. They couldn't hire me. Let me explain to you what I would do. I would not even waste my time looking at these jobs. I would do first, whenever you graduate, you have a 90-day window, 30 before and 60 after, to file for OPT. Always think, as an immigration lawyer, as an immigrant, there are three things you need to worry about. Number one, how could I stay in America with or without a job permit, right? Because my goal is to go to school. My goal is to get a tourist visa. Now I finished my school. The first thing is apply for OPT and make sure that your foreign student advisor, FSA, foreign student advisor, FASA, sign the paperwork and you file it in less than, the law is 30. I would apply like the second day because sometimes we want to extend the 12 months. So we file like the 29th day so I can get the real 12 months, but don't do that. Because sometimes there's a snowstorm and your paperwork goes in one day late, and now they say you're late. They won't give you, and then you have to leave the country and come back. You lose your, not only the OPT, you have a stamp OPT. So you really have 36 months. So technically, you don't even need a H1, and depends on what country you're from. You don't even need a free trade because if you're from Singapore, you can get a E3. I won't even do that. I would do the 3-year OPT, find an employer to do a immigration case for you. On the form, they do ask you, do you need sponsorship? Because once you end on the application form, they'll ask, do you need sponsorship from a company? They're gonna kill me. I would even say no, because OPT, you don't need sponsorship. You just need a letter within 90 days to tell them. In my days, I don't need a letter for my 18 months, but nowadays they do. So within 90 days, all you need, and don't pay $200 to get a phony letter, all right? Because those people get indicted. And nowadays, immigration people are lazy. Once they got a computer with like 1,000 phony letters, they'll get you involved. And it's sad because then you cannot even get a green card. So you have 90 days once you get a job. You just need confirmation that I'm working with a not-for-profit, I'm working for free, I'm making $10 an hour, and I know you're worth so much more. But the whole thing is get that job. So 90 days within OPT. So first, make sure you timely file your OPT. Have foreign. You don't need a lawyer. Have your foreign student advisor check it so you get your 12 months. In the meantime, get the job, show them your application because it will take time. Right now, immigration is very slow. And tell them you can actually start once you get the work permit. But in the meantime, 90 days, you need to tell them, I already have a job offer, I'm starting to work and stuff like that, right? And then in the meantime, once the job people like you, they can do a perm. Perm is, as I said earlier, it's really fast. It's less than a year. You have 3 years to work permit. You don't even need H-1B. So because H-1B, there's a lottery and stuff like that. I don't think you have a difficult case, but those two, of course, I mean, every employer in the country is looking for good people. I would not work for federal government or even state government because like in Ohio, the pathologist department, they're looking for good people, every department. But once you work with a government, even though they want to sponsor you for, or they hire you on OPT or H-1B, it's just a pain because that's bureaucracy. You don't want to work for a big bureaucratic company when you're just a starting engineer. And you have a lot of future because America wants engineers now because local American people, we are more into the arts and sciences. We're not into STEM. So do well, be well. And one day you remember I went through your stage. I didn't get my first job until after 9 months. Within my 18 months, I about died. And I interviewed so hard. I mean, I would have taken anything, even without pay. But I finally found a good job, even though I was fired. But we go through a same journey because we don't think like and of course we shouldn't have to because we are foreign students. So good luck to you.
Thank you so much, Miss Wong. And if you need more information, this person, uh, because of the name, looks like he's from an Eastern country, maybe India, probably. So please, if you
Definitely
see,
use your 3 year 36 month because Indians it takes us if you only have a bachelor's it takes 10 years. But knowing us, you probably have a master's or PhD. So really use up 3 years, then do a H-1B. Hopefully you'll get it and then use that perm because Indian and Chinese it takes us a long time to get green cards. And I'm sorry.
okay, thank you so much, Miss Wong. And don't forget that the phone number is 216-279-3984. 216-279-3984. You can talk to Miss Wong. She can give you advice, she can give you information, and you just need to call 216-279-3984. She has offices in 9 cities of the United States: Atlanta, Chicago, Cleveland, Columbus, Memphis, Minneapolis, Nashville, New York, and Raleigh, North Carolina. And the phone number is just one: 216-279-3984. 216-279-3984. The next question is, uh, I have a pending court hearing, but I have a C10 work permit. Would I be in risk of being deported? What happens with my work permit after that court?
Absolutely no risk of deported. You have a work permit, a C10. So I presume you filed 42B, which is non-LPR cancellation of removal, which is the cancellation of deportation. If you lose the case, you can appeal the case within 30 days and don't miss a deadline. And then you can extend probably another at least 2 or 3 years. If you lose again, if there's a constitutional issue, you can go to the circuit courts. But a direct appeal means that if you lose, you can only appeal what you had. 10-year cancellation is a wonderful case in the sense that if your children are sick, if your parent or a spouse have extreme hardship, you can stay in America. But even if you lose that day, you will not be deported. Now, I will look at it if I were you and really look at it. Do you want, if the NTA have no date and time, see if you want to terminate if you have no hardship. Termination means that you don't get deportation, but you also lose your work permit. But this is a very common thing. A lot of our clients don't want to terminate anymore because they want to protect work permit. But that's okay. So if you want to, you can win it, but you really have to work very hard. The qualifying relatives has to have some sort of extreme hardship. We have one cases where the kids are going to the Harvards, the MITs, or Yales, Or we have one cases where the kids are really, really sick. Mediocre is not going to win the case. You either have great, great kids that without you, they won't get like a scholarship, they won't be able to ride a bicycle to work together, or you need a lot of help from them because you yourself is very sick. So you need the kids to inure the hardship back to you. So you have to find a hook and you have to get the heart, the judge's heart, find out the history of that judge. Was he a OCC? Was he a long-time immigration people? Was he appointed by Obama, or Biden, or Trump? These are all important because he is your adjudicator of facts. And also, maybe a lot of times, even I know I'm going to lose the case, but you protect appeal. You put things in there. So, because you can only appeal on the records, put things on your record. Make sure it's always on the record, on the record, on the record, and be nice and be kind, because a lot of times when you go to trial, I get very nervous, and I shake and I'm like, and I start yelling because I talk very fast. Make sure it's calm, you don't yell back, and listen, because if you need a translator, you request a translator. If you're indigenous, request a special dialect. Don't say, oh, everything is fine, I trust my lawyer. A good lawyer, or the best lawyer, is really only what you gave to the lawyer on the facts. You don't have the facts, you work on the law. If you don't have the law, you work on the facts and really tug on their heartstring. You can win this. And if not, protect work permit, go and appeal. And if NT have no date and time, no hardship, terminate the case. Then you would think of something. If the kid is 21, maybe you can do a new green or something, There's a lot of works to play these cases.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for this answer. And if you need more information, please give us a call, 216-279-3984. 216-279-3984 is the phone number of the office of the attorney Margaret W. Wong. And the next one is, good morning. I have my first hearing programmed for March with the immigration judge, which is called Master Calendar. Can I wait for this hearing? My case is 10 years cancellation of removal. Thank you so much.
I would file the 42B now. I don't know if you got a C10 work permit. You may even have a C8 work permit. Protect C8. Master calendar is like a pretrial in a civil. So, for example, I'm filing for divorce, right? So I have a pretrial, and a trial. MC, which is master calendar, is a small pretrial. It's only a 5-minute case. The MC is really on the day, and depends on your on the city you are in. Maybe it's in Memphis, maybe it's in Atlanta. Depends. So it depends on how judges work. Lately, some Memphis, I haven't seen it, but before the closing of Memphis court, they do a lot of the schedule. They give you a scheduling order, a first one, and Ohio now is starting scheduling order. So sometimes they even cancel this MC and give you a scheduling order. MC is very much to identify the issue. What is your relief? Do you have a spouse as a green card? But because you're already in court, they cannot do a 601A, then you can do admin close because of the new Biden stuff. So MC is just, what's my relief? Do I plead? I shouldn't say guilty because it's a criminal case. These are civil. Do I admit, deny, admit? Because they'll ask, what's your relief? What's a country? If you would be removed, what's a country? Refuse the destiny. So it could be whatever country you're from. So for example, you're from China, but you have a Hong Kong nationality. So you want Hong Kong because Hong Kong is easier, right? So on the other hand, if you're from Hong Kong, then DED is coming in. If you're from Venezuela, file the TPS now, and then you can always terminate the 10-year cancellation because TPS sometime. But if you think you're going to win, protect the case, because if you lose, it doesn't matter. You have TPS anyway, or DED from, so it depends on what country you're from. As I said earlier, MC is just a small case. You always need a plan. You need to execute the plan. The starting of the case is very much to give you, it's like I sue someone for divorce, right? I go file bankruptcy. Nobody knows what the outcome is. That's why my clients, can you guarantee you win my green card? No. It's like I cannot guarantee, a surgeon cannot guarantee you're going to die. On the other hand, it's a plan. We execute our plan. First, you are legal already in America, or at least known to the government. What's legal is known to the government. Second, maybe I can protect my work permit. Third, how can I get my green card? If I have a criminal record, how can I protect myself against deportation? If I already have a green card, if I'm married to an American citizen, how can I protect my green card? If I'm a wild wife, I'm abused by my former spouse, and my former spouse died. In the meantime, I couldn't prove because he died. I have no testimony that proves it's an abuse. So can I do a widow case and go from there? So these are all plans to do the case. It's not just filling out a form. Oh, I'm going to get your green card. Oh, MC. Oh, IH, I need some more money. It's not like that.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And yes, we have a lot of questions related to that. But if you need more information, please give us a call 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. The next question coming in is good morning. Questions for you, attorneys. A person that surrenders to the authorities in the border, which is born in Colombia but has Venezuelan nationality, is over 40 years old, and is he has been living in Venezuela for over 40 years. Would this person have a right for the benefits that Venezuelans are receiving
As
today?
long as you came to America before March of 2021, yes, you should apply, definitely apply for TPS. But you have to tell them how you came to America, because I have a lot of people, for example, they have a Spanish passport, but they're also from Venezuela. They came because it's easier to come on a Spanish passport because they have Esther. Because then immigration is going to say, but you are Spanish, you use a Spanish passport. So we have to overcome. So it seemed like you came through the border because you did not have a visa on your Colombian passport, but you have Venezuelan passport. So I would, if you came before March, absolutely apply for TPS. If not, apply for asylum.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for this answer. And this next person is asking the following. Hello, Miss Margaret. I hope you are well. My name is Sandra. I have a pending asylum case, and I was fingerprinted. Now, what's coming up?
Okay, so if you join CASA or ASAP, you can file for the work permit, which is a C8 2-year work permit, 151 days after the day you got the receipt. So it seemed like you already got the receipt, you already got the fingerprint notice. So if you make sure go on the internet and join CASA, CASA or ASAP, and they'll give you, you need a receipt of the asylum, not the fingerprint of the asylum to join them. And once they give you a number, 151 days from the day of the receipt, not the day you join, you can file for the 765 and the C8 work permit. Right now, C8 is very, very slow. But at least with that receipt, you can maybe, show future employers and say, I already found my work permit. I expect to get it. And here's my receipt. Another thing, what Biden have been doing because of all the Southern people coming up and they cannot stop reunification of families, people just come illegally. Any people who came after May of 2021, they're trying to deport us faster. So I would go ahead, still file it and see what happens, because these laws, everything they change. And don't just say, I need a job, or of course you could. That's all the reason why we all come to America. But more than that, you have to tell them what your fear is. What's the threat? What's the fear? And explain PSG, that means person of a special group. If you're gay, tell them you're gay, but it cannot just be I'm gay. It has to be how you were abused, you were threatened. There's a direct threat against you or your family. It can be just I'm gay and I just don't want to stay wherever I am.
Hey, thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for this answer. And this next question looks very interesting to me. I am applying for asylum. I got married to an U.S. citizen born person. She wants
Yes,
to file for me.
yes. there's a problem. So look at number one, think parallel track. I have been married 3 times, right? Look at date of marriage, date of divorce, date of marriage, date of divorce, date of marriage, date of divorce. Are there any of those? So normally these are profile cases, and I don't know what country you're from. Always, and that sounds so racist. I'm not, because that's our job, right? And actually, I've been sued because they think I'm a racist, but I mean, that's what I do for a living. So look at date of marriage, date of divorce, date of marriage, date of divorce, date of marriage. It depends on what country you're from. For example, you're from India and you don't really speak good English. How could you have married someone who's only a nursing aide, who's making only 18,000 a year and work in a store and work in your father's store? I mean, that is stupid, right? So they probably, I mean, I would not, I mean, because, so look at date of marriage. Uh, the second thing is now you have an American born citizen who normally the second and third marriage is a charm. That means immigration did not probably believe in first and second. The first of your marriages is your country. That's okay because they don't question marriages before your country. So look at your DS 160. When you apply for the tourist, I don't know if you came legally or illegally. So look at your tourist visa application. So for example, I married someone in January 2002. I came to America in 2004. So on your DS 160, when you apply for the tourist visa, did you say you're married or single? Because a lot of the time they would have said they're single or they're married. So just so they can get an easier visa to come. That's a direct 6C issue. That's a material representation. So on your second marriage, did you ever divorce the first wife? Because they always thought, oh, I never told American embassy I was married, so why do I need a divorce? You always need a divorce. You don't want to be a bigamist. The second marriage in America, which is the first marriage in America, normally is a citizen. Even if you married him or her, look at it. If you are Indian, is she black, white, or Puerto Rican, right? Because you don't speak good English. How did you fall in love with a white person or a black person or Puerto Rican? Because they don't. You don't speak English and you don't speak Spanish. So, and that's what these are profile cases immigration looks at. Also look at the tax return. If there are Medicaid, Medicare, welfare, if there are 3 kids on welfare, and if the emergency report on the school system did not name your name, that means, I mean, you're the new husband, right? Normally, when they apply for this kind of government assistance, they have to say if they're married, they need your tax return, right? And also, if you moved in with her, if her house is a Section 8 housing on the application, they always say, "Are you married or single?" And they normally, our clients, they always say they're single because if they're married, they'll look at the husband's tax return or the wife's tax return, and they cannot move into Section 8 housing because they already have 3 kids, 2 kids. If they add you in, that means they want to make them move. So these are little things that you want to look at. And then you need to look at the USC spouse, right? How does she get a green card even though she's a citizen now? If she had a green card through a marriage, does she apply the citizenship within 3 or 5 years? If she married to get a green card and she never have children from that marriage and she got a 3-year citizen, and right after citizen, she divorced that guy with or he divorced her within 2 or 3 months with no children. Because 3 year citizen means that you are cohabitating, you're still together. So even though she went with him for the citizen naturalization ceremony and they divorced right there, how did your relationship so bad? It's even a divorce case takes 4 or 5 months. How did you get divorced in 3 years? I mean, in 3 months after divorce, and that's a final judgment entry. And they don't like it when you apply, when the citizen sponsor another person for green card. It's not even don't like it's a law that you're not supposed to file for someone and marry them within 5 years and sponsor them. So I have green card holders who got the green card like maybe 3 years ago and divorced already and didn't know and did not apply for citizen and now married someone. So I always tell them, get yourself a citizen first before you go sponsor them because you may lose your green card. So these are all cases that you need to look at. 22 of my marriages, number 2 of my marriages back in my country and the last was here in the United States. So it seemed like 2 marriages. So it doesn't matter if you married the foreign born because they don't care about foreign born marriages, but see if they have kids. And also another thing is see if you sat in the same plane on the manifesto. Because for example, I married my second wife. We have 2 kids, and together we went to get the tourist visa, and we sat on the same plane because immigration, when you go for interview, they can get on a plain manifesto and they'll say, hey, or four of you or three of you or two of you sat next to each other. How did you get divorced so fast? After you come to America, you get divorced after. In America, it takes 4 or 5 months to get divorced. You divorce in 6 months and 3 months later you marry an American. Where's the girl now? Where's the first wife? Where are the kids? Oh, she lives 3 blocks from me. Then is that even a real marriage? Because on the emergency school records of the 2 kids that you had, or 1 kid, you are listed as emergency. And she's only 3 blocks. I mean, if I'm the new wife, I don't want my new husband's ex living 3 blocks and come to my house every day. It doesn't make sense, right? So these are things that you need to analyze before you even. I normally like to tell them before you marry, let me please look at your case first before you marry, because why marry? I mean, of course, you love each other, then you marry. But even if you love each other, I mean, you need to protect him or her green card and citizenship. I mean, then once they get citizen, normally they don't touch the citizen, but they could use their cases to hurt your case. We have cases like that, and I was so mad that they cannot, because they couldn't touch a citizen. Now my clients are hurt. So these are things that I would look back, and also depends on what country you're from. Like in India, like in Chinese, because I am Chinese, the Fuzhou people, not so much the Wenzhou because they're very good in trade. And normally they us make Wenzhou is more north, Fuzhou is right next to Guangzhou. Anytime you have these 2 city or state people coming to America from China, invariably American immigration question it. And also that's why they normally do a phony passport, do a phony birth certificate, and say they're born somewhere else. Because anytime you're from Fuzhou, there was a time Chinese American embassy do not give you a visa. Same with the Patels in India. That's why we look at a Patel passport and they came with a phony passport. I just laugh. We all laugh. Oh, you're not a Patel, you're a Shah. Oh, you're not a Patel, you're a Parma. Because they don't want to be a Patel. But now it's okay. The past 6 or 7 years, because of the rise in economics in India and China. So, and there's a movie actually called Fuzhou Blue that you may want to look at it. Listeners who's interested, the whole village left for America, but that's 20, 30 years ago. Now China and India have changed, so it's okay to be a Patel. And worse is a lot of times they want to help their brothers. So instead of saying to have 2 kids, they'll come with 3 kids, right? They'll say, oh yeah, I have 3 kids. And in those days, they don't do DNA, it's okay. Now the kid wants to bring the natural parents because now he's 21, he's a citizen, and then they'll look back and say, hey, your parents are this one, and you got the green card through this parents. How did you? And now they're trying to get, I can tell you stories about my job. That's why you have to have the time to sit down and don't just accept, oh, it's American citizen. Oh, I came to America so-and-so. Oh, I can help you do this case. It's not that simple. If it's that simple, they don't use us as lawyers. Anytime they use a lawyer, because our clients are more smarter than I am. They are fast. They have listserv. They go to USC. They know how to at least read English. They always ask, especially on the H1s and OPT and the stamp. Oh my gosh, they're so good. So I really think those of us lawyers really need to make us better and better. And those of us clients really need to understand the situation. Don't just marry someone because, oh, I can get a green card. I need a parole so I can get a work permit and stuff like that. Don't do that.
Thank you so much, Miss Wong. And we have a lot of questions coming from people that have someone at the border. This question is: my brother is in Tucson, Arizona. He gave up in Mexicali. We are from Haiti, but I want to know if he's okay. They don't give me information. Is that normal?
It's very normal not to give information. Their excuse is they're too busy. There's a jail web. It doesn't hurt to look at it. But right now, because Southern Border is in a mess, they don't put it up. Normally, because of terrorism, they don't even tell you until it's 24, 48 hours. So if you go on the web, you'll find it. The first thing you talk to your brother, if your brother is lucky enough to connect with you, because sometimes if you have no papers, the brother is scared to call you, and they should not call you because they really do tap all those phone calls. And remember, ICE jail is not regulated like a criminal jail, even though they are criminal jail because of overbill. They have a contract with ICE, with Homeland Security. Homeland Security people, they tap you, they listen to you. You just can't. I mean, I'm not saying I don't trust. I mean, I don't trust them, and I'm sorry. You don't trust nobody when you're at the border. Number one. Number two is check it because they may the jail list may tell you. Always ask for the A number because you could not do anything because we have one social, one A number, one birthday, one tax return every year, one social, one tax ID number. Always ask for the A number. If you call enough down there, they will tell you. Always call. There's a return, and always check on the web because we have inside. I mean, not inside, but as lawyers, we're worked enough to know who's a supervisor. But most people they don't because they are just helping your family. So call the supervisor. The higher they are, the more they return. Why do you think they get promoted? Because they return clients phone calls, all that constituent. We are the stakeholders. Don't forget that our tax pay ICE people and our filing, like if I want a green card to pay them 1225, our filing, our tax pay people, and they're supposed to work for us. They're not supposed to not return our phone calls, but it is what it is, right? So they will, it's very normal. They don't tell you. Me too, they just ignore me. But you just have to nag, you just have to call, you just have to be nice, kiss up, never yell at them because they are my, I am very nice when I'm with them, except sometimes I get really mad and I yell. But I get away with it because I am Margaret Wong. I've been around 45 years doing it. So keep at it and make sure your brother, and don't tell them your story is this because it's embarrassing. They will check if you also had filed for asylum, they will check them against you, but they will tap the phone. So don't tell them, my lawyer said you have to do asylum, but make sure you give them a very good story of fear. Don't just say I'm coming for economics because we tend to be very honest when we are scared. All right? You'll be fine.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Miss Wong. And well, thank you so much for having us and see you next time,
Thank you.
next week. And we will see you
Yes.
in person next Thursday here in Atlanta. So we are really, really excited. Thank you so much, Miss
Me
Wong.
too. Thank you. See
Thank
you
you.
then, Mr. Juan. See you.
And everybody who has joined us today, don't forget that you can make an appointment for Atlanta for next Thursday, which is the 7th of October. And the phone number you need to call is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. Thank you so much and see you next time.